Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today my name is Usetale. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. In today's tutorial video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to sew this beautiful corset blouse. I decided to recreate mine using this beautiful black net fabric, and this was the final look of the blouse after I was done making it. So if you're interested in seeing how I went about the pattern drafting, the cutting and the sewing tutorial, keep on watching, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. So guys, for the making of the corset blouse, these are all the fabrics and the materials you're going to be needing. This one here is a crepe fabric. You are going to be needing a crepe fabric that is your skin tone. You can see this crepe fabric is closest to my skin tone. You're going to be needing nothing less than 1 to 1.5 yards depending on your size. You're also going to be needing a matching lining, about 1.5 to 2 yards as well. You're going to be needing a net fabric. When buying your net fabric, make sure it is not stretchy. Can you see? It is not stretchy. So make sure that your net fabric is not the stretchy type. You're going to be needing nothing less than 1.5 to 2 yards of your net fabric. You're also going to be needing estée. So this one here is called estée. I'm going to be ironing it to all the fabrics. You're also going to be needing your bra cup of your size. You will be needing the zipper. Then you also need the boning. So this boning here is the sewable boning, also known as the Regiline boning. So you can sew on it. So that's the boning you're going to be needing. So these are all the materials and the fabrics we are going to be using for this tutorial. You're also going to be needing a cotton bias. Okay, so I'm going to place all this fabric aside now, then we draft out the pattern. These are the body measurements I'm going to be using for the drafting of the pattern. Now, to draft the pattern, you're going to fold your pattern paper together into two, just like this. So make sure it is on fold, and at the top here you rule a line which is going to be for the starting line. Now you're going to place your tape on the starting line. You're going to measure down to the bust line. Then you're going to take it down to the under bust line. Then you will measure the waistline. You will take the full length of the blouse. So right now we're going to be adding extra inches for the basque waistline effect. Okay, so from the full length I'll just come down by extra 5 inches. So I'll mark 28. Then you will come forward here and mark the same thing, your bust line, your under bust, your waistline, the full length of the blouse. Then you mark 28 inches. You're going to go ahead to connect all the lines the way you see me doing. So after you're done connecting, here's the shoulder line, the bust line, the under bust line, the waistline, the full length. Then this is the basque waistline effect. Now you're going to come to the shoulder line. You're going to take your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then from that mark, you will come down by 0.75 inch for the shoulder slope. Then here, you're going to take 3 inches for your neck width. You're going to use your ruler to connect the shoulder slope just like this. Now the next thing to get is the chest line. You're going to be coming down here by your round bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, and whenever I do that I have 7.25, so I just marked it. Then you're going to connect it and label it the chest line. Now the next thing to do is to create the armhole. So on this line you're going to divide what you have into 2 to get half of it. From that mark you will go in by 0.75 inch for your armhole. Okay, then on the chest line, you're going to be taking your round bust measurement divided by 4. Now you're going to use your curve ruler to create the armhole. So create it to meet all those points that you made. Then you're going to have a perfect armhole just like this. So after creating the armhole, now you're going to come to the under bust line. Come to the under bust line here. You're going to take your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. You're going to be taking the same thing on the waistline, the same thing on the full length line, and the same thing on the last line. After making those marks, connect a straight line just like this. Now you will come to the waistline. You're going to take ½ inch on both sides of this straight line. So from the waistline, you take ½ inch. Then this other side, you're going to take ½ inch as well. After you are done doing that, you're going to connect it to meet the under bust in form of a dart. Can you see? So connect it up like this. Then you're going to do the same thing here. So after you're done doing that, now you're going to come to the last line here. So what you took here, which is ½ inch, you're going to take the same thing on the last line. Then you take the same thing on the other side. Okay, now you're going to be connecting it with a straight line just like this. then you will do the same thing to this other side as well. So after you are done creating the dart, now the next thing we want to do is we're going to be taking the round body measurement. Okay, so to take a round body measurement on the chest line, I already have my round bust measurement divided by 4. Then I will come to the waistline. I will take my round waist measurement divided by 4. It is here. Then I will measure this dart is about 1 inch. I will add it to my measurement. Now you're going to come to the full length line. You will take your round hip measurement divided by 4. You're also going to measure the dart. Then you add it to your measurement. Okay. So after you are done doing that, you're going to connect it to give you your body shape. So connect from the armhole all the way to the waistline like this. Then you're going to connect from the waist to the full length line. So guys, after doing that, just extend the line all the way to the end. So remember, it's going to have a bust waistline effect. So I'm going to be creating that later. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring your cup. It's time to create the corset. On the bust line, you're going to be marking ½ inch. So mark ½ inch here on the bust line, and you're also going to mark ½ inch on the under bust line. Then you're going to connect the 2 dots with your straight ruler to have a straight line. Now you bring your cup. I'm going to zoom it for you guys to see. Can you see? So this point of your cup, you're going to make sure it sits on this line. If you want to bring down your line a little bit, you can come down by ½ inch. That's if you want your cleavage to show. For my case, I'm going to be putting it directly on the bust line, and I will make sure that my cup is sitting on the line and also on the under bust line. Can you see how I am arranging it? So you're going to make sure it is sitting on the bust line and it is also sitting on the under bust line. So you pinch in the cup a little bit. Can you see what I did at the side here? I just pinch it in a little bit to create a little bit of arc, and you can see it's sitting on the under bust line here, right? So everything now is perfect. I like the way it is looking. Now I'm going to go ahead to trace out the cup. So just go ahead and trace it just the way you see me doing. While you are tracing the cup to your pattern paper, make sure you don't move your cup. Okay, if you move your cup, you're not going to have it accurately. So be very, very careful while you are doing this. Okay, so after you are done tracing it, at the point here, you're going to mark it to your cup. That is the dart line. So mark it to your cup as well. So this is what you're going to have. Can you see how perfect it is? So after doing that, now you're going to connect from this end here to meet the armhole area just like this. So this is it, guys. Now we have successfully drawn out the cup. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead to cut this out. So just watch very carefully the part that I'm cutting for now. So go ahead and cut it out just like this. So after you are done cutting it out, this is what we have. Now you're going to open it up. Can you see? You're going to extend all the lines to this other side of your pattern paper. So go ahead and extend the lines. So after extending the lines, now you're going to measure the dart. So the dart we took, your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. You're going to mark it here as well. Then you mark it on the full length line. You're going to mark the same thing on the last line. After you are done making those marks, you're going to connect them with your straight ruler. Now, after you are done doing that, so the dart we took is ½ inch. You're going to mark ½ inch on both sides of the line. And at the end here, you also mark ½ inch on both sides. Then you're going to use your straight ruler to create a straight line. So connect it to give you a straight line here. And you do the same thing here as well. Then at this other end, you're going to connect it just the way you see me doing. So this is it, guys. Now we have the dart. We've transferred the darts to the other side. Now it's time to create the shape of the front piece. So if you look very carefully, you will see that it came in a V form first. Then it now went up, like they now cut it up again. So first of all, cut it in a V form. Then they now cut it up. Then they cut this other side. So that is how the shape is. So to do that, I'll just fold the pattern paper into 2. So from the full length line, I will connect it just the way you see I placed my ruler. So just connect it in a V form like this. So after you are done connecting it like this, you're going to go ahead to cut it out first of all. So go ahead to cut it out. So guys, after you are done cutting, you're going to open it up. Now we are going to create the design. So from the middle line here, this is the middle line, I'm going to go out by 2 inches. So go out by 2 inches from the middle line here. Then you're going to go up. So how long I want it to go up? I want it to go up about maybe maximum 7.5 to 8 inches. So I used 7.5 inches. Then I'll make a mark. So from that mark, what I have here is 2 inches. I'll also make sure here is 2 inches. So after I'm done doing that, this is the left hand side that I'm working on, okay? So make sure that you are working on the left hand side of your pattern paper. You're going to connect the 2 dots to give you a straight line just like this. Now, after you are done doing that, to create the other cut that came like this, you're going to come to the end here. You will mark 4 inches. So mark 4 inches like this. Then you're going to close up the dart. So go ahead and close up the dart. Can you see? Close it up just like the way you see me doing. After you are done closing up the dart, you're going to place your ruler on it. Then you're going to connect it from this end to meet that other point. Can you see, guys? So after you are done connecting it, this is what you're going to have it looking like, okay? So this is all for the drafting of the front piece. I'm going to go ahead now to cut everything out. So guys, after you are done cutting it out, this is what you're going to have it looking like. So this is it for the drafting of the front piece. I'm going to label it. So this one here is the center front, this is the side front, and this other one is the side front. So guys, this is it for the drafting of the front piece. I'm going to place them aside now, then we draft out the back piece. For the drafting of the back piece, I've already gone ahead to prepare my pattern paper. So this is the zipper allowance. Then after I was done doing that, I went ahead to rule out the starting line. Then I measured from the starting line to my bust line. I took the waistline, then I took the full length of the blouse. Remember, the back piece is not going to have that curve that the front has, so it will stop at the full length line. On the shoulder line, I took my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I came down by 0.75 for the shoulder slope. I took my neck width of 3 inches and I connected the shoulder. Then here I came down by 7.5 and I connected it out. So here is the chest line, the bust line, the waistline, and the full length. Now the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to come to this line here. I will divide what I have into 2 to get half of it. So you're going to make a mark. From that mark, you will go in by 1/2 inch. Then on the chest line, you're going to take your round bust measurement divided by 4. Then you're going to be using your curve ruler to create your armhole. After you are done doing that, you're going to create the dart. But before we do that, you're going to extend the chest line just like this. Now on the chest line, you will take your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. You take the same thing on your waistline. Then you're going to take the same thing on the full length line. After doing that, you're going to connect the dots to give you a straight line just like this. Now you will come to the waistline. You're going to be going in by 1/2 inch on that straight line, and you also go out by 1/2 inch on the straight line. Then you're going to go up here by 1 inch. Then you're going to go ahead to create the dart. So just connect it to meet the waist like this. Then from the waist, you connect it to meet the chest line. So guys, after connecting your dart, this is it. Now you're going to take your round body measurement. We already have the round bust measurement divided by 4 there. You come to the waistline and take your round waist measurement divided by 4. You measure your dart and you're going to add it to your measurement. You come to the full length line. You're going to take your round hip measurement divided by 4. After doing that, you're going to connect the dots to give you your body shape. After you are done connecting your body shape, you're going to come to this end here. You will go up by 1 inch. Then you're going to use your ruler to connect it to meet the dart line. So connect it just like this. So guys, after you are done doing that, now you're going to come to the waistline here. You're going to be going in by 1/2 inch. So this is to reduce zipper bulge, okay? So go in by 1/2 inch. You connect it to meet it just like this. Then you're going to connect it to blend with the other side as well. Can you see? So because we have reduced here by 1/2 inch, you're also going to be reducing the zipper allowance by 1/2 inch, okay? So reduce it by 1/2 inch and you're going to connect it as well. So guys, after you are done doing that, the next thing is to connect the neckline, to draw out the neckline. It's going to be a very deep 4-corner neckline. So for the depth of the neck, I'm going to be making use of 8 inches, which is where my chest line is. If you don't want yours to be too deep, you can make it 7 inches. And for the width of the neckline, I'm going to be marking about 5 to 5.5 inches. So I made use of 5.25 inches. It depends on how wide you want it to be. Now you're going to be reconnecting your shoulder slope to meet that point that you just marked. So here I have 5.25 inches. Okay, you're going to be taking away 1 inch from what you took at the top. So 5.25 inches minus 1 inch is going to give me 4.25 inches. So at this end here, I will take 4.25 inches. I'm going to go ahead to use my ruler to connect it. So connect it from the shoulder all the way to this end. Then you're going to connect it out. So guys, this is the 4-corner neckline for the back. You're going to go ahead to cut it out. So guys, after you are done cutting, this is it. You're going to label it the back piece. You can choose to separate it. You can choose to cut out the dart and divide it into 2, but I'm not going to be doing that now. Maybe I will do it later, okay? So this is it for the drafting of the back piece. Now that we are done drafting both the front and the back pieces, so these are all the pieces that we have. Remember that this blouse is going to have sleeve, and when I'm sewing, I'm going to be adding yoke to it. I'll put yoke here and here so that I'll be able to attach the sleeve to it, okay? So I'm going to be using all these pattern papers right now to cut on my fabric, okay? And to do that, I already went ahead to iron estée to my fabric. So this is the crepe fabric. I iron estée to the wrong side, and I did the same thing to the lining fabric. It is more easier to iron your estée to your fabric before cutting, okay? So now that I'm done ironing the estée to my fabric, I'm going to be using all the pattern papers to cut on my fabric. I'm going to be cutting the front piece first, and you know the front piece is not on fold, okay? So you're going to place your lining fabric on the table like this. Then you will place your crepe fabric on top of it. You can see it is not on fold, okay? It is just a single piece. So place it on your table, place the crepe on it. Then you also place the net fabric on top of the crepe fabric. So what I basically did right now is I placed all the 3 fabrics together: the net, the crepe, and the lining fabric. Now I'm going to place my pattern paper on it one after the other. Then I will pin it down. Can you see what I'm doing? So place your pattern on it and pin it down just the way you see me doing. Then after you are done pinning it down, you're going to go ahead to cut, making sure that you give it all the sewing allowances. You're going to give 1/2 inch to the sides for the joining. Then you give 1.5 inches to the side for joining the front and the back pieces together, okay? So that's how you're going to cut it. So guys, this is what I had after I was done cutting them out. I gave it 1/2 inch on all the sides for the joining allowance, and at the sides I gave it 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance, okay? So that was how I cut them out. And for the back piece, I decided to separate it into 2 before going ahead to cut on my fabric. Now that I'm done separating them, I'm going to place them on my fabric. Remember, you're going to cut the back piece on fold, okay? So you're going to fold your fabric together into 2 before placing your back pattern paper on it to cut. And you can see I'm cutting one after the other. I'm cutting the crepe fabric first. So I'm giving it all the necessary sewing allowance. Now that I'm done cutting out on the crepe fabric, I gave it 1/2 inch all around. I gave it 1.5 inches to the side. Now I'm also going to use it to cut on my lining fabric and my net fabric. And this is what I had after I was done doing that. So I went ahead to also cut on the lining fabric and the net fabric. Now it's time to cut the sleeve. I'm going to be using the remaining of my net fabric for the cutting of the sleeve. You're going to fold it together into 2 just the way you see me do. So after you are done folding it together into 2 like this, you're going to fold it together again. Fold it together again just like this, okay? So after you are done doing that, you're going to measure the length of your sleeve and make use of length of 26 inches plus all the sewing allowances. I'm going to mark out 28 inches, okay? So I'm just going to make a mark here, then I will rule a straight line. After you are done doing that, at this end here, you're going to come down by 4.5 inches. So mark 4.5 inches like this. Then you're going to go ahead to connect the sleeve slope. Can you see what I'm doing? The sleeve cap, just go ahead and connect it just like that. After doing that, you're going to measure your armhole measurement divided by 2 on this curve that we made. So for my case, my armhole measurement divided by 2 is 8.5. So I'll just measure to make sure I have 8.5, which is here. Then I'm going to add extra 1 inch for the sewing allowance. Then here I'm going to be taking my round arm measurement. So take your round arm measurement divided by 2. Then you're going to add the sewing allowance as well. And at the end here, how wide I want the sleeve to be is 10 inches. So I marked it and I added extra 1 inch for the sewing allowance. So you're just going to connect it the way you see me doing. So after you are done doing that, you're going to go ahead to cut it out. So guys, this is it for the cutting of the long sleeve. So right now we are done cutting out all the pieces that we need for the sewing of the corset blouse. We have the front pieces, the back pieces, and the sleeve. Now in my next video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how we are going to join all these pieces together to make this beautiful corset blouse. And in order for you not to miss that video, do what to hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that when the video drops, you will be notified. If you gain any value from the watching of this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, share this video so that a lot of people will be able to see it to watch as well. Thank you so much guys for watching. I will see you all in my next video.